Let's cue the music. Yeah.
Hey Karish, it's so nice to finally be on your show. And do you want me to do that?
Sure, at your own risk.
Then I think we should not offend our audience.
I've never been so entertained, so amazed with her conversation.
Donald Trump, my favorite, my friend, मित्रों.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hey Karish. And I have to say, it's a dream come true. You know how long I have waited to have this guest on this show? I mean, I made a whole episode by myself talking about Shah Rukh Khan and his impact on all the times that I've met him in my life, right? So today, I think this is getting one step closer to Shah Rukh. Not there yet, but very, very close. And on the show, we have my next guest. Hey, Punit.
Hey Karish, it's so nice to finally be on your show.
All right, Punit. For those who don't know, you are, Dubai's very own super popular mimicry artist. And in fact, on the radio station where I work, City 1016, we run a lot of our promos, that's radio ads that carry, celebrity jokes, basically jokes and celebrity voices that are actually have been voiced by you. So
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
done voices of how many actors? Shah Rukh Khan, of course.
Shah Rukh, Sunny Deol, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Arnab Goswami, Donald Trump, Modi ji, and many more. I think I've forgotten. Hrithik Roshan as well. Salman Khan.
Right.
Salman Khan too.
Lots of celebrities.
Lot of celebrities. And I do accents as well. So I think that's also my forte, apart
Nice.
from just doing celebrity mimicry. And I really
Nice.
enjoy doing that a lot.
Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you.
Welcome to my home.
Glad to be on your show, honestly.
Thank
Was
you.
waiting to get that invite from you. Genuinely.
Thanks, Puneet. Now, of course, I have heard your voiceover work and your mimicry work for years on my radio station. I think today I really want to try and understand from you, purely as someone who really appreciates mimicry as a talent. This is not just a passion or a hobby.
True.
You're not only doing it on your social media.
Yes.
This is something that's actually part of your livelihood as well.
Yes.
In
it
fact,
has
you've
become.
come in a sherwani,
Yes.
not for this podcast, and you haven't come straight from any wedding. You're actually headed to an event right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Where are you headed? What can you tell us?
I'm headed to a Mehendi function. So I'm about to host that show, an hour later after we are done with this wonderful podcast. So yeah, I mean, as you were talking about mimicry and doing impressions, so I kind of also integrate that in my show flow. I do that quite often. And, audience really resonates with it well, especially the Indian Desi crowd. They enjoy seeing, impressions of these various Bollywood actors. And of course, so I have one segment, that's one of my USPs. So I do a Shah Rukh Khan segment where I ask the groom to go down on his knees and then say a Shah Rukh Khan dialogue. And I act as a guide to that person. I don't come dressed up as SRK, but of course, I kind of wear those goggles. We have a background music that's played. One of the most popular dialogues that I always ask the groom to say is the one from Kal Ho Na Ho.
Please.
Even though the dialogue is a bit tragic, but it's very romantic. And I think it goes really well. It fits in very well with the show flow and with the concept of a Sangeet or a Mehendi. So you want me to do it?
Yes, please. Let's cue the music. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to address this to you. All right. I love you. I love you very, very much, Karishma. मैं आंखें बंद करता हूं तो तुम्हें देखता हूं. मैं आंखें खोलता हूं तो तुम्हें देखना चाहता हूं. तुम पास नहीं होती तो तुम्हें चारों तरफ महसूस करता हूं. हर पल, हर घड़ी, हर वक्त. मेरी आंखें मेरी करिश्मा को ढूंढती हैं. इसे प्यार कहो, पागलपन या मेरे दिल की धड़कन में, ले कुछ और है. मैं तुम्हें जिंदगी भर प्यार करूंगा, मरते दम तक प्यार करूंगा, और उसके बाद भी.
Okay, where's Chandran? I'm melting all. Did you see how good he is? I got goosebumps here. That's
I love
fantastic.
dwelling into the character. So I kind of get lost when I perform on stage. So that's something that I've realized. I'm a different person. It's not me. I'm a very introvert person otherwise. But when I'm on stage, I'm just extremely extroverted. I'm not me. I'm somebody else, I guess, when I'm on stage. I think I'm quite connected to... I'm kind of taking this conversation to a deeper level, I don't know. But I'm a very spiritual person, to be honest. I am quite connected. And I think any artist who can completely get lost on stage is is lucky, in my opinion. If you can get lost on stage and completely forget who's in front of you and just go with the flow, go like feel that moment, it's just surreal. I can't put that in words, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about, because for me, every time I've done events, and I've done hundreds, if not thousands of
course.
events over the years, you know how it is, you're always made to wait. You know, you're always like 1 hour, 2 hours, or usse pehle, you know, I'll spend
Become a habit
2-3 hours getting ready for that event,
Yeah.
driving to that event, you
Yeah.
know. So all in all, 4-5 hours. But once you have that
mic, and
that
once you're
mic
on
in the hand,
stage,
and
oh my God.
something else takes
It's just
over.
something, it's magical, right?
And I don't mind doing it a million times over for
Yeah.
that. Just for that.
Yeah.
It's poetry in motion to me, you know, just being on stage. So
Amazing.
I fully understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. I also understand this dichotomy of being somewhat of an introvert.
Yeah.
You know, and which is it's completely understandable, because who you sort of become on stage
Correct.
does not necessarily have to be your full personality.
Exactly my point.
How and when did you first discover this side of yourself?
So I remember I was in my 11th standard. I was 16, and we had a talent competition. So I'm from Indian high school, and we had different houses. So our entire batch was divided into different groups, which we call houses. So I was part of this house called Emerald House. And the captain of that house came up to me. He's like, Puneet, we don't have many participants this year. We wanted to do something. And everybody had backed out for some reason. I'm like, okay, I will give it a shot. I've never tried it. I like being on stage. I used to do a bit of drama earlier, but never knew this side of me, that I could actually do impressions. So so at this event, at this competition, I realized that, okay, maybe I have this knack of doing impressions. So he's like, Puneet, okay, like, this is a part of the script and you have to do this. And on stage, trust me, kid you not, we improvised on stage because the audience was thoroughly enjoying. We were doing random things, like absolutely random. The concept was not to do impressions. It was just to entertain the crowd, make them laugh. So from one end, my friend tells me, yaar, Shah Rukh Khan kar le. And I did this version of Shah Rukh Khan, which is not the current version of SRK. We call it, with no offense, the Bakri version of SRK.
Ah, the one that most, yeah.
Kya bolte ho? And when I did this, the audience went bonkers. They were like, oh my God, what is this? This is fun. Maza aa raha hai, ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai. And audience thoroughly enjoyed. And then I kept switching characters. Then I did a bit of Sunny Deol. I did a bit of, I remember at that time, Sunny, who else? Arnab Goswami a little bit. So all of these characters just popped up.
Was this the first time you were...
It was the first time, and I'm not even making this up. It was the first time that I actually discovered that I can probably do impressions.
So it was not like you were the usual funny guy at home or with
not
friends,
at all.
always doing impressions.
I used to do impressions. I used to do a lot of mimicry, not of actors, but of people. Like, for example, I used to mimic my teachers. So between periods, I used to go up once, and before the other teacher used to come, I used to just go up and, probably impersonate the teacher that just taught a particular subject. For example, I still remember I used to do the Malayali accent really well of my professor. And do you want me to do that?
Sure, at your own risk.
At my own... Okay, then I think we should not offend our audience.
All right, okay, tell me this though. It started off as fun and games. College is where you're really not serious about anything. But today it is a serious part of your life. So how and when did that happen? Were you always clear what you were going to do, or were you a bit
Not at all. I was
confused?
completely lost. I was completely confused. Confused is the right word. So I'm still working, at a bank. Previously, I was into client servicing. And, I was just wondering that what else can I do? Because this job is not fulfilling. It's not satisfying to me, even though, of course, the money is coming in and stuff, but something is lacking in my life. And that's how my friend approached me. One of my friends, he said that let's do content creation. That's upcoming. YouTube had not just started off, but it had picked up at that time. And Instagram had also come into the game and stuff like that. So we started creating content, funny content. And by that time, I knew that I could do impressions and stuff. So मैंने impressions किया. We made these funny videos. And that's how we formed our YouTube channel, which is called Viral Panthi 101. I think it kind of gained a little bit of fame in between. I'm sure a lot of people saw viral content videos. And in that process, I also created my own characters. So I have this character called the Sindhi Uncle, and there is another character that's called the Bengali Watchman. So these characters got a lot of light, a lot of fame,
Can you please give us some
context, a little bit of
performance of the
live
Sindhi
performance.
uncle? Yeah,
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of my supporters or my followers keep messaging me on Instagram. They keep DMing me like, Puneet, when is the Sindhi uncle going to come back? We need a comeback of the Sindhi uncle. But because it's been a very busy period, as we all know, it's the wedding season, so it's very hard to.
Are you Sindhi?
हाँ जी बाबा साईं हमें सिंधी है यार कैसा बात करता है करिश्मा तुम यार बाबा सिंधी है लेकिन हम कंजूस नहीं है
Really?
हमारे बारे में मार्केट में पता नहीं कान अफवाह फैलाया है कि सिंधी कंजूस होता है सिंधी कंजूस नहीं सिंधी शो ऑफ भी होता है हम अगर आप हमारे शादी में आए होगा हम इतना बड़ा बड़ा शादी में इतना खर्चा करता है पैसा कहाँ से आता है हमारे जेब से आता है तो हम कंजूस नहीं है हमारे पास बहुत पैसा है हम शो ऑफ भी करेगा राइट टाइम पे ऐसा हमारा थॉट ऐसा ही है हाँ
Oh, that's brilliant. You said you do a Bengali uncle as well.
हमारे घर पे ना आप हमारे बिल्डिंग में अगर आएगा ना नेक्स्ट टाइम तो आप नेक्स्ट टाइम परमिशन लेके आएगा वरना आपको अंदर अलाउ नहीं करेगा बिल्डिंग का पड़ोसी है आप नहीं समझता है बार बार आप इधर बेल बजाएगा तो हम कैसा अलाउ करेगा जाओ अभी जाओ कल आने का
Nice. That's really, really nice, yeah?
This one's the Malayali cafeteria character.
Hanji.
Actually, we started off with this character.
Hanji.
A very dear friend of mine, both of us, we started this together. His name is Ayush Takral. I don't know if he's going to see this or not. But
Hey,
yeah.
Ayush,
Hi,
please
Ayush.
watch this. Come
please,
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are talking about our good old days. So please, zarur dekhna and share it also with your friends. We were just sitting in a cafeteria itself. And we went through the menu. And we saw some interesting names, food items, and some beverages. They had a very interesting name, like something was called Lexus. A drink was called Lexus. And another drink was called Expo 2020. And one of the sandwiches were called, I don't recollect the sandwiches, but I do remember the drinks. तो एक और जूस था जिसका नाम था बुर्ज खलीफा.
I've seen this Burj Khalifa
You've seen
on
this
menus,
one?
yes.
Yeah, so exactly. Burj Khalifa, Expo 2020, Lexus, all of these are actual beverages in cafeterias in Dubai. So we thought, okay, like probably let's pick on them. Like let's do something on this. It's going to be interesting. No one has ever done that before. And I remember that, we brainstormed and we came up with a script and it was absolutely hilarious. That was our first video, which actually went super viral. Yeah. We got around 100K views back in the day, which was definitely a very big thing. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
I love when stories work out. I think we all love happy moments.
Yeah.
But none of our stories are actually complete without failure, without something that didn't land.
Yeah.
Tell me about your learnings.
There was a horrendous experience that I had about 5 years ago. I had hosted an event. What happened at that event was quite embarrassing. I'd already prepared everything backstage, that what I'm going to do. And at that time, I used to always stick to the script. I'm like, this is how it's going to be. And I don't think so. I am that experienced or I'm that, well-versed with doing something that's very impromptu. So everything was scripted in my mind. I was all prepared and I discussed that with the bride and the groom. So I remember that when I actually, went on stage and we were supposed to do a segment together. And then in front of everyone, the bride snatched the mic from me because the crowd was not being receptive enough to that segment. She's like, you're absolutely, crap. Cut this, just leave. And she said that on the mic, by the way. And that moment really, really shook me. I was like, probably I'm not meant for this. It completely broke me down. And I thought I'll probably quit emceeing at that moment. And yeah, so that was definitely one event that I'll never forget. But that kind of changed me as well. It completely shaped me.
So you decided to go back and do another event.
I took a break, I would say, at that time, probably for a good month.
What did you change about your approach in that 1 month?
At that time, honestly, I was more of a pessimist. My personality was not the personality that I have right now. I have upgraded my personality as well. And of course, these sort of experiences in life change you as a person. So at that time, I was like, I'm giving up. I don't want to do this. But I just feel sometimes, now that I look back, I realize that those things are meant to happen to change you. And God, the divine force, whatever you may call it, helps you in different ways. And then another event came my way after a month. And when that event came up, I took it very, very seriously. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my time. I'm going to prepare myself. I'm going to work on my skills, upgrade my skills, see what I can do, which others can't. What is my USP? What is my strength? So then I realized that I'm really good at poetry. I'm good at shairi. I'm good at mimicry as it is. How can I do that impromptu? How can I plug that in between? If I see that there is a dull moment, how can I kind of lift the crowd up by doing something which is random? So I practiced that, and then I went back again, did that second show, and that was a super duper hit. People loved it. And you know how Dubai is, right? Everything happens through word of mouth. So it kind of spread. Everyone gave my reference, and I kept getting more work, and touchwood, by God's grace, I'm continuously getting a lot of work now, and it's become like a full-time thing.
I love how young you are, and then you're already talking about having evolved, and you haven't taken these experiences to mean the end of that. That's it. I love it, but I won't do it ever again. I'll tell you, early in my career as well, I had a similar experience to what you shared, wherein I was asked to host an event. Very, very big level, all the page 3 celebrities of this country and from India were flown into this event.
Now you can do it in your sleep. Like you've been, oh my God, you host all of these big events.
Yeah.
Like it's a piece of cake.
It's true. It's true. But what happens is in that moment when the client feels like, they're not getting what they want from you. And then instead of letting you work it out, if they snatch the mic and take...
Oh my God. I know. I went through the same thing.
I know. So I had something happen where the person decided to host the event on their own.
Oh my God. I know the feeling.
So I just decided to stand back and enjoy the event because I felt like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna just take this in without letting my ego or pride or any of that
that's maturity.
Eat
wow.
Into how could you blah blah blah. No, it's okay. All right. Clearly, you want something from me, and you're feeling like no, you're not getting it. Let me just stand back and learn from this because it's true. I'm not gonna run away from this. This is my life. I'm not running away from this.
But kudos to you. You took it very positively. I did not at that time.
But I came home and I was very upset.
Obviously, those feelings won't leave you, right? They will haunt you later on.
Yeah, but I learned.
You need to learn how to deal with them.
I learned. I'll tell you what, a lot of it sometimes for us, and this is very behind the scenes conversation really, for people who work as hosts, etc., is that a lot of times it's just about the client knowing that this person's too confident for me to shake them.
Yes.
That's what it is. If they feel they can rattle you, then that's it. Then they're going to walk all over you. Not all clients, some clients, and that's the one thing that we need to remember is that
you got to be thick-skinned.
Always walk in so confident.
Yes, I agree. Whatever you do, just believe in yourself. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Very recently, in fact, I would say a couple of weeks back, I did an event and someone tried to heckle me and passed a very racist comment. Very racist comment, I must say. I'm not going to say that here, but so I gave it back in a very confident way, very confident fashion. Of course, I was not equally racist, but I just, gave it back to him in a very nice and a very, sweet way. And then he realized that, okay, this guy is very confident. And then he came to me and he apologized.
Wow. I mean, it takes a lot, but good on you for, like I said, I love that you've built your personality towards becoming more positive in your outlook. I love that. I want to hear all of your voices. I want to hear everything you do.
Okay.
And as you do different voices, Punit, I'm going to ask you thoda to give us sort of a technical understanding into what you're doing.
Okay.
For anyone who wants to sort of hone their own talent.
Right.
Yeah. What is it that they can also remember from this?
Okay. So to be very honest with you, before I do these impressions, I don't have a textbook way of I don't have a proper technique as to how I can do that impression or do a spot on impression. The only thing that I would say is a lot of things matter. Firstly, you have to really observe that character, that person really well. Let it dwell into yourself. And once that happens, you also have to observe their mannerisms and the way they speak and their voice modulations and their postures. So these are the few things that you have to always keep in mind if you want to kind of nail someone's impression. You want to do a spot-on impression, factors to keep in mind.
So let's make it a game.
Okay.
Quiz me. All
Done.
right. Throw me a voice and I'll guess.
The impression that I'm doing perfect. Let's try it out. All right.
Now this
Fingers
is the
crossed.
acid test of your skill.
Oh my God. I'm under pressure right now. Shit.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
Let me
go.
try.
Ladies and gentlemen, Boys and girls, it's absolutely fantastic to be on Karishma's show. I love her. She's been the best so far. I've never been so entertained, so amazed with her conversations. Thank you so much.
Let me guess. Dolan Tump.
बिल्कुल आपने जो नाम लिया है मेरे हिसाब से बिल्कुल सही लिया है डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प माय फेवरेट माय फ्रेंड मित्रों मेरे प्यारे साथियों अगर आपने करिश्मा जी का शो नहीं देखा तो क्या किया अपना वक्त फालतू रील देखने से बेहतर है कि आप इनका पॉडकास्ट देखें और सब्सक्राइब करें जोरदार तालियां
ये थोड़ा सा सिंधी हो गया एंड में मोदी जी.
सॉरी यार थोड़ा सा सिंधी हो गया. यस वो सिंधी एलिमेंट है ना क्या करूं
Naturally निकलता है
Naturally
वो.
निकलता है
I
मेरे
love
से.
it. Are there any Sindhi actors or celebrities that you have realized you do really well?
Sindhi actors, no. In fact, I think I've created a personality, a figure, which itself has become like a celebrity.
Celebrity.
That character has become a celebrity, to
Yeah.
be very honest with you.
Yeah.
So the Sindhi dad is something that I do quite often, which I did as well, but let me do that again for you.
वार्म वाटर बहुत अच्छा लगता है हमको ये हमारा गले के लिए ना बेस्ट है हम और कुछ नहीं करता है खाली वार्म वाटर विथ हनी पीता है और हमारा गला ऐसा मस्त हो जाता है बाबा साईं क्या बोलेगा आपको लेकिन आपके शो में ना आके हमरे को अच्छा वाइब मिल रहा है आई एम एंजॉयिंग द वाइब्स यो रियली नाइस
Puneet, you're going to grow old and you're going to be that uncle, you know.
No, please, don't say that.
You have relatives. Is this inspired from your own family?
It's definitely inspired from a lot of people. Like it's a curation of different people. Yeah. Like someone has that nuance, someone has something else. So just a mixture of everything.
I love it.
That's how I came up with this.
Absolutely love it. Okay, throw some more celebrities.
वाओ यार क्या बात है वाओ अभी आया था यार अनंत अंबानी की शादी में बहुत मजा आया मी करीना बेबो सेम थिंग हम लोग वाइब करे थे दिलजीत पे बहुत मजा आया यार वाओ
Saifu, of course. My own Saifu, my own friend he is.
अरे वाह आपका दोस्त है क्या बात है यार आपने हमको बताया नहीं कि आपका दोस्त है वो हम बहुत टाइम से सोच रहे थे कि हम भी उनको दोस्त बनाए लेकिन हमको मिलते नहीं है वो बहुत बिजी रहते हैं अनंत अंबानी की शादी में इतने टाइम के बाद बात हुई है सैफू से समझ रहे हैं आप
I love it, Salman. I
समझ रहे हैं?
love it.
थैंक यू
So my producer on the show that I co-host with Parikshit, right? Chirag, he is one of those proper Salman fans.
अच्छा
So you should actually, and he watches these podcasts as well. He's a super sweet
सॉरी
chap.
व्हाट्स हिज नेम
Chirag.
चिराग ओके चिराग मेरे भाई आपको बिग बॉस में आना पड़ेगा बहुत टाइम से वेट कर रहे हैं आपका आप आ क्यों नहीं रहे हैं आपको इनवाइट भी दिया था पर्सनल मेरे भाई सोहेल ने उसके बाद भी आपने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया ऐसा क्यों वेट कर रहे हैं आपका जल्दी आइए
That was perfect. That's really good.
Really? Thank you,
I mean,
thank
your
you.
lip movement, all of it. It's word for word, Salman.
Thank you,
Fantastic, yeah.
thank you.
All right, give me another one, please.
Another one, okay.
Don't tell me who.
Of course.
आप उनका लाइफ में बहुत ज़्यादा तकलीफ हो गया है लेकिन कसम से बोलता है मैं करिश्मा आपके शो में आके मेरे को इतना अच्छा लग रहा है कि मेरे को रोना आ रहा है अभी मैं इमोशनल हो रहा है क्या बोलेगा इतना प्यार अपने को कोई नहीं दिया जो आप हमको दिया इतना ग्रेस थैंक यू अपन बोलता है
Nawaz, fantastic. Yeah. It's pretty mind-blowing for me to watch this. But I also want to understand the technicalities of what you're doing. Of
Yeah.
course, I mean, you're clearing your throat.
Yeah.
That's the obvious
Yeah.
thing I've
Yeah.
noticed. But what is it internally that you're doing when you're switching when you're getting ready for a Salman?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
are you doing?
So what I actually do is there's no technique as such, but what I actually do is I just picturize that person in my head. So as soon as you give me the name, I actually think about Nawaz at that moment. And one of his scenes kind of is played in my mind. And then I notice in my head, what is he doing? How is he behaving? And, in tandem, I'm also doing the impression. So that's genuinely what I do.
I think there's obviously a great mix of talent, God's gift, and there's just being able to visualize
Maybe, I
and
guess,
then
maybe.
yeah, actually perform. Is there sort of voice exercises, or do you change your voice at all? Like, for example, when you did Nawazuddin Siddiqui's voice, what did you do differently with your voice?
So this is how I normally talk. And then if I want to switch it to Nawaz, then I kind of bring it a little down and then अपन को मालूम नहीं है कि अपन क्या कर रहा है. अपन का जिंदगी में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है. कसम से बोलता है मैं. क्या बोलेगा?
Yeah.
The tonality obviously is definitely different. It's at a different pitch. It's a mix actually. I really can't tell you whether it's low or high, but you have to kind of put a bit of pressure to your voice.
Yeah.
So there's more added pressure on your vocal cords when I'm actually, doing someone's impression, especially in Nawazuddin Siddiqui.
Yeah.
But Shah Rukh, I think Shah Rukh is just, again, I'll try my best to put this in technical terms, but Shah Rukh is more about observation because he has a lot of expressions and he's got a signature style of acting, right? So you kind of can gauge his style, his mannerisms. But voice is also like he's got a different range. He's got a very different pitch. So let me try and demonstrate that for you.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking very normally to you. Hey, Karishma, how's it going? That's amazing. That's amazing, yeah. Then a bit of break in between. Yeah, you know what I mean?
See,
तुमको मालूम है?
that what you're doing with
तुमको
your
मालूम है?
throat right there.
तुमको मालूम है क्या? अपन को नहीं मालूम कुछ भी. मेरे को नहीं मालूम कुछ भी. He doesn't say अपन. He says मेरे को. मुझको is normal, but मुझको को bit of stress towards the end of मुझको. So these are a little bit of nitty-gritties that you kind of grasp when you notice a person's way of acting. It's all to do with observation.
Yeah. Clearly,
Everything.
this is a
You
lot
gotta
of
kind
work.
and it for some people it comes naturally.
Yeah.
I don't want to boast that about myself, but I think it kind of gets captured in my subconscious. I don't even practice sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, ठीक है, हो जाएगा, कर लेंगे.
But most
I
people
feel it.
who can do impressions really well
Yeah.
do have a natural knack for it.
They have
It
a knack
starts
for it,
off in
exactly.
school and college where you're doing it with friends.
हाँ, वहीं से start होता है.
Yeah.
And starts in classrooms, like I said.
Correct.
Like, amongst a bunch of people, you kind of, that's your place to test the waters and see whether actually people are reacting or not. And then okay, probably I've got this in me, man. I can do this.
Where does Donald Trump fit in all these Indian celebrities?
So interestingly, how Donald Trump happened was I was actually, during COVID, it happened. So a lot of these interesting, so it was his visit, right, to Gujarat. So when he came down to Gujarat, that time I saw his fantastic speech that he gave with Modi ji. And I thought of an idea. I'm like, घर पे बैठे क्या करें? करना है कुछ काम. So at that time, I decided, let me make some content. And these face filters were getting very popular, the Snapchat face filters. So kind of used those apps to, kind of add that filter to my face of those of Trump and of Modi ji. And then I created a funny video and I put that up on my Instagram handle, and that got viral. And I remember, if I'm not wrong, I think somebody from Rahul Gandhi's office also shared it on Twitter and asked me, and I had not put my handle on the video. So someone had saved it, shared it on WhatsApp, it went viral, and then someone uploaded that on Twitter, probably from Rahul Gandhi's office. There was some very popular personality, I don't remember his name, and he asked, he had put up a caption, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And of course with laughing emojis. Obviously opposition party. So he's like, this is the best video that I can, put that up.
Right. Now you've mentioned, you've shown us so many performances.
Haan ji.
You've mentioned one name that we have yet to see you perform.
Haan ji.
And that is the one that the nation wants to see.
Oh yes, of course. Wow, thank you. Fantastic. पूछता है भारत, बताइए. Why you took so much of time to call me on your show, Karishma? No, I'm very disappointed. I must say, Karishma, you are calling all the celebrities, all these Dubai celebrities. You don't consider me one? Why don't you consider me one? I don't understand that. Why am I last on the list? Answer, Karishma, answer. Miss Karishma, what is up?
Oh my God, that is bloody brilliant. Oh my God.
Thank
so,
you.
so if I were to watch you,
Yeah.
all right, at an event or, you're performing somewhere
Yeah.
on stage,
Hanji.
what is your opening voice? What is your grand finale voice?
If I have a set script in mind, which is designed for only impressions, then I would start off with Arnab Goswami.
You'd start with that.
Let's start with Arnab definitely, because I think he's got a lot of energy, and that'll kind of pump up the crowd, get them hyped up. And after that, probably somewhere in the middle, I'll go with Shahrukh to mellow them down a little bit and give them that experience, that aura, that vibe, the romance will be up in the air. And then probably move to Salman a little bit, throw us a swag. Uske baad, then probably Nawazuddin for some entertainment, for some funny jokes, and towards the end, come to Sunny Deol.
What?
Oh, yes.
Let's come to Sunny Deol then.
करिश्मा जी, मैं ये बात आपसे कहना चाहता हूं कि आपने ये जो पॉडकास्ट शुरू किया है, ये बहुत अच्छा है. मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है. और मैं मेक श्योर करूंगा जब मैं गदर 3 करूं तो आपके पॉडकास्ट पे मैं प्रमोशन के लिए आऊंगा. थैंक यू. ओए.
That was too good. Punit. We haven't taken your name enough on this episode, but you're brilliant.
Thank you so much.
And, like I said at the very beginning of the episode, you're a very well-known artist here in the UAE. Have you been going to India, and have you been doing shows there as well?
Whenever I travel, I usually travel for weddings. So I host a lot of weddings internationally. So I do remember a very recent wedding that I hosted in Udaipur. And they particularly hired me because they wanted me to do a lot of SRK impressions. We had this segment that I mentioned earlier as well, where I asked the groom to say that dialogue of Kal Ho Na Ho, and we created that vibe with that sound effect. And I did Amit ji also. So I forgot to do Amit ji.
Really?
दर्शकों और सज्जनों, मैं आपसे यही बात कहना चाहता हूं कि आपके शो में आके मुझे बड़ी खुशी मिली. बड़ा मजा आया आपके शो में आके, और उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप हमें फिर से बुलाएं. धन्यवाद.
Man.
Iतना अच्छा नहीं था, but I'll try again.
Nahi, sabke phones, my husband, Chandran, Neet from our production, everyone's phones are up because they're like, this is brilliant.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm sure it's a
But
million
I'm not
times.
on my A game today for some reason,
Yeah.
obviously because of my sore throat. But I wish,
Yeah.
oh man, I could have really done this so much better, I feel.
Aww.
I'm not the best today. But anyway.
Do you put a lot of pressure on yourself? Are you?
No, I don't put a lot of pressure, but because of it always affects my voice when I don't sleep well.
You haven't been sleeping well?
No, because of the season, right?
been
I've
working-
been working non-stop.
So you have a day job,
Yes.
and then you're doing events round the
Yes,
clock.
Round the clock.
And is there a plan to lose one and switch to the other permanently, or is this the plan?
Honestly, I think till I can manage, till I can, kind of sail on 2 boats, I'm going to continue doing that. And with all honesty, my colleagues at my day job are very, very supportive, and they know that I do it on a regular basis. And I host events for my bank as well. So honestly, it's a blessing. They're very kind. They're very understanding that way. So if I had to leave early, whenever, they let me go.
I love that. I love a good supportive set of colleagues, and of course, I also know that his bank is a big client for my radio station. So a big shout out to his bank. We're not going to be naming you.
Oh, yes.
But you know who you are. And thank you for all the support over the years. Punit, of course, I think this has been fantastic. I think we're going to be discussing, Chandran and me are going to be discussing you today
Oh
for
my
the
God.
rest of the day.
What an honor.
What a
Thank you
brilliant
so much,
performer you are.
Thank you so
and
much.
we're just so happy that you came off to our show today.
I'm so happy to be on your show, but I just hope that my voice was perfect today. I really hope I was on my A game today, but unfortunately, because of my sore throat, I think I did try my best though, and I hope it came out fine.
You were fantastic. Yeah, you were fantastic. So who's someone that have you ever actually presented your performance to an artist? Your impression of them in front of them. Have you had that opportunity?
I haven't had that opportunity yet, but I hope to have that opportunity, and that has to be, of course, Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah. And I do remember that I was actually called to the City 1016 office as well. It was for his movie promotions, the movie Zero. And I had come down there as well. And I remember that someone had choreographed the steps. And I got a chance to sway my hands in front of SRK. And all he did was, I still remember, and I'm never going to forget that. He said, he did this. Of course, he didn't tell me anything because he was far off. So he looked at me and this.
Oh. All right, Punit.
That's all
One
he
day.
did.
One day.
One day.
All right,
It's
gonna
gonna
be,
happen through City 1016, I'm sure.
It's gonna happen.
And you're gonna
I'm gonna be
help
there.
me meet him.
You're gonna be there.
Oh, yes.
This podcast is gonna talk about it. So we're excited, and here's putting it out there once again that we really, really hope to have the opportunity to share so much with Shah Rukh Khan.
Please, yeah, please.
Thanks, Punit.
Thank you so much for
This
having me.
was fun.
This was a lot of fun.
Now he has to run to an event, and the Dulha Dulhan are waiting for the host. So we're not going to keep you for very much longer. Of course, we will see you once again next week with another guest right here on Hey Karish.
Hi, my name is Punit Lalwani. It was a lot of fun being on the Hey Karish show.
एंड मित्रों, मेरे प्यारे साथियों, जल्दी से सब्सक्राइब कीजिए टू हे कैरिश एंड बेल आइकॉन भी दबाइए, क्योंकि अच्छे दिन आने वाले हैं. धन्यवाद.